is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are the Fourth. We are South.
We welcome you to Turner Field in Atlanta, and we start one of my favorite weekends of the baseball season. It's Alumni Weekend, as this year the Braves celebrate the 25th anniversary of the worst of first 1991 Braves. Bobby Cox is here, and so is my partner Joe Simpson, along with yours truly, Chip Carey. Great weekend on hand as the Braves and Phillies play tonight in Game 2 of this 4-game series. We're going to have a very busy booth, but it's always fun this time of year, Joe, to walk down memory lane.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's one of my favorite weekends, too, and we are going to have some of those your favorite players come join us in the booth over the course of the weekend. We expect several guys up here tonight. As a matter of fact, should be a lot of fun, and hopefully the Braves can put a win on the board to kind of honor these guys.
Should be a interesting night, to say the least. We understand John Smoltz is planning on joining us, at least we hope so. Can't wait to hear about that and his memories of 1991, and hopefully we'll make some new memories tonight. It's the Braves, it's the Phillies. Starting lineups, first pitch on a star-studded weekend starter coming up right after this. A season for the ages in 1991, won the batting title in the National League, hit .319, was the most valuable player that season. And Terry Pendleton, Rafael Belliard, Sid Bream, Deion Sanders, all big acquisitions, including Otis Nixon, that really made the young Braves starting pitchers the terrific pitchers they became here in Atlanta.
I loved what Tom Glavine said. It was when that season started, ground balls that used to be base hits, we turned around and all of a sudden they were turned into outs, and we went, oh, these guys can catch the ball. Well, that's what Terrell Jenkins is hoping happens tonight, because he'd like to get some ground balls and maybe cut down on his walks. 7 games, 3 starts. There are the numbers. He's coming off a start in Colorado. that was not to his liking. 3+ innings, 8 hits, 3 of those were homers, and 7 runs allowed. But he's got to cut down on the walk. So let's go to the 4 keys to pitching success tonight. Number 1, big innings are killing the Braves, and big early innings are really setting the offense back. He's got to try to hold this offense for the Phillies down for a while and give his offense a chance to work. And those walks and deep counts are really adding up for Tyrell. He's been going to a lot of 3-ball counts even when he gets out. So hopefully tonight, some early outs early in the count.
Here's how the Braves line up behind Tyrell Jenkins tonight. Peterson, Inciarte, and Markakis in the outfield. Freeman, Beckham, Ibar, and Garcia around the horn. A.J. Przinsky is behind the plate. Quick question for you with regards to Tyrell Jenkins. As you see, the Phillies lineup, which exploded in the early innings last night, only change for them is Cameron Rupp is behind the plate. It's always an adjustment for a pitcher to pitch in Denver at Coors Field for the first time. Is there an adjustment period for Tyrell Jenkins making his first start after Coors Field for the first time?
Well, I think there's still a little bit of a lingering effect from especially those home runs, and you realize you're back home where it's a little harder to hit homers. The wind's blowing in tonight. He'll feel that at the back of his neck, so that will probably give him a little confidence boost. But primarily, just don't put guys on base. Be more aggressive, attack the zone, and hope that his good stuff tonight results in a lot of ground balls.
Well, he got 8 of them in his start against the Phillies on July the 6th. As he worked 4 2/3 innings of 1-run ball. And his first offering of the night misses upstairs to Cesar Hernandez. And it's 87 degrees officially here in Atlanta at first pitch. And a strike. That's Nick Lenz behind the plate, so you know he'll have a good look at the baseball, calling balls and strikes. And a swing and a miss. Good fastball. Tied up Hernandez. It's 1-2. Cesar's done a nice job since moving to the leadoff spot in front of Odubel Herrera. And he didn't get that call. Had the plate, but appeared high.
Just that lens, Mr. Lenz. That away.
Guarantee you this man behind the plate is Dr. K's favorite umpire, Alan Kozarski, the eye doctor to the Stars. Hope he's watching tonight as Jenkins turns it loose and missed downstairs, so right away a deep count.
Last night a leadoff walk led to trouble for Matt Wisler. Started a 5-run inning.
And he got ahead of Hernandez but lost him, and Cesar will make his way to first to start the opening inning. 17 walks for Jenkins against 11 strikeouts in 23 1/3 big league innings. Here's Herrera, the Phillies center fielder, their first center field all-star since Shane Victorino 5 years ago. And he's having another solid year. 287, 11 homers, 36 knocked in. And he's worn out the Braves. 14 hits this year against Atlanta pitching. At 14 for 41 pencils out to a 341 average. And a bunt, and it's a good one. Adonis Fields fires on the run, and Freddie in harm's way was able to make the play before Herrera clipped him running by. A sacrifice for Herrera, a productive out for the Phillies, and Michael Franco's coming up.
Credit for his sacrifice, but he was bunting for a hit all the way, and a good play there by Adonis, and a good job by Freddie to get his glove out of the way because he barely had the ball in his glove. He might have gotten knocked loose here if he lets Herrera run into him.
Michael Franco having a good road trip for the Phillies. He's got 6 hits in 6 games. Club leader in homers, RBIs, and extra base hits. And he unloads on the first pitch to straightaway left. Jace Peterson is met by Inciarte. Ender will make the play in left center. And Franco's retired for out number 2.
Got under it. That helped.
Let him hit it high tonight.
Yeah.
It's going to take a big, strong man to hit it out with the wind blowing straight in. Here's Tommy Joseph, the Phillies' first baseman. Talked a lot about Joseph last night and what he means for this Phillies ball club. You'd have to think they're very impressed with what he's done since taking over for Ryan Howard, a former catcher who was really sidetracked by concussion issues. Now is playing first base and among rookies having a terrific run of it.
And talking to a scout before the game tonight, claimed that he was actually a better catch and throw guy than he was hitter when he was a catching prospect. That says a lot, but by comparison to the way he's swinging the bat right now.
Well, if he were to play every day, let's just say 500 at bats, right? He's got 191 at bats now and 14 homers. So do the math. You're looking at a potential 30-35 homer man for the Phillies. As Jenkins gets a ground ball to short. Ibar's got it. Slow runner, and he pitches around the leadoff walk. Good start for Tyrell Jenkins on his home mound. Vince Velasquez will go to work for the Phillies next. MVP John Smoltz already hard at work. And I tell you what, the autograph lines for all of the Braves alumni here tonight were unbelievable. What great support for the Braves veterans who are here at the ballpark tonight and will be all weekend long. Big softball game here tomorrow evening as well. Vince Velasquez to work for the Phillies in the bottom of the first inning. And this young man is off to a flying start with the Phillies.
Oh, and he throws hard. 92 to upper 90s fastball, slider, changeup, curve. 24 years old, 6'3", 205.
Ground ball to second. Hernandez from the cut of the grass. And there's the first out.
And there is a chance this may be his last start in a Phillies uniform. Several teams here to see him pitch tonight who are interested in starting pitching. Great numbers on the year, 3.34 ERA. Had one game back in April against San Diego, a 9-inning, 3-hit shutout. Didn't walk a batter and struck out 16 guys. Out of Montclair, California.
Gordon Beckham greets him and takes a strike. Well, it's interesting to me you mentioned that there's talk about the Phillies moving one of their young pitchers. We've talked a lot about Jeremy Hellickson being a very attractive trade candidate. And with the price for starting pitching that we're seeing at the deadline this year, it's got to be really tough for the teams that have pitching to not pull the trigger. with what could be available to them in trade.
You know, after what we've seen already.
I mean, the Marlins made a deal today for not one but two starting pitchers as Beckham's down on strikes. 2 up, 2 down. First, a look at the Phillies defensive lineup. Cameron Rupp, as we told you, is the only change. He's their big slugging catcher.
Braves had, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Joe.
I was just say the Braves had some luck against Velasquez earlier this year. May 12th here. A no decision for Velasquez. The Phillies won the game in extra innings. He went into the 7th inning, 5 hits, but the Braves got 4 runs off of him, all in the 7th inning. 2 walks, 5 strikeouts.
And he's going to have a very easy first. 6 pitches, takes care of Atlanta. And we go to the second, just underway in Atlanta. No score. By Lowe's.
Pretty good home field advantage for Chipper Jones playing here. All-time ranked first in all 5 of those categories. And those are fairly important categories, by the way, especially if you're a hitter. 888 RBIs at Turner Field.
Amazing. Speaking of amazing, how about the night Aaron Altair had? His first game back from a broken wrist. All he did for Philadelphia was go 3 for 4 with a homer.
And make them realize what they'd been missing.
Good pitch. Tied him right up. It's 1-2.
He's got some good movement going so far tonight.
Well, I love this abbreviated stretch, modified delivery, whatever you want to call it, for Terrell Jenkins.
Yeah, he's barely even rocking to get going. He's just barely moving his front foot.
And he had some sinking movement on that pitch. That takes care of Altair. Jenkins has his first strikeout.
Boy, that would go down. Good one.
One away for Cameron Rupp. This is one big dude behind the plate. And he's hit 10 home runs.
And one of them against the Braves, and he's had a good season already against Atlanta pitching, hitting .304 against them. It's kind of like Nick Hundley of the Rockies. He kind of hides in the weeds in their lineup, and then he comes up and hits a double and drives in a couple of runs.
Rupp tips the Toledos at 263 pounds, as an old friend of ours used to say. Out of Plano, Texas. and the University of Texas, where he was a first-team freshman All-American 8 years ago. And rolled foul. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Rupp found his power stroke over the final 5-6 weeks of the season last year. He hit 8 home runs over the last 38 games for the Phillies, and 10 so far this year.
That was because he started catching on a more regular basis.
Did he go? Oh, yes, he did. Rupp is rung up, and he takes a long look at David Rackley at first. And Rupp is down on a check swing strikeout.
Let's see if he went. Yeah, he did. That didn't take long at all. Yes.
Well, first Alfonso Marquez and now David Rackley have some issues with the Phillies over some interesting calls in this set. As Cody Asche was the man that was called out for fan interference last night. Chase d'Arnaud tried to track the ball down right up against the wall in left. As this one's cracked toward the corner in right. That's going to one-hop the fence. Markakis with a bare hand. His throw headed to second. It's off target. And Asche has a 2-out double, the first Phillies hit.
Take a look at the pitch. Well, we'll take a look at this play off the wall first by Markakis. And off the mark.
Yeah, we understand Asche got an apology from Alfonso Marquez before the game today or yesterday about that interference call.
That's good. Now, Pete Mackanin was asked why he didn't ask for a replay on that, and he said, I don't know.
Well, you could use that term for a lot of things that happened on that play. One,
yes.
Why was the call made? 2, why was it a challenge? And 3, why did Chase d'Arnaud kiss the guy?
Yeah, I don't know.
And why was the youngster sitting next to that fan crying last night?
I think he was worried that somebody was going to get in trouble.
Oh, yeah, pretty good call. But the fan stayed in the game the rest of the way, so that was good. And Galvis intentionally walked. That sets up Vince Velasquez with 2 outs. He's no slouch at the plate. He's got 6 hits. And that one's rolled foul at the plate. And it's a swinging strike. If memory serves, the Braves tried to get Velasquez from Houston. That was part of the Evan Gattis deal. Right. The Astros wouldn't budge on Velasquez, so the Braves got Mike Foltynewicz instead. They're happy with that trade. And a shot to the first baseman Freeman, who's got a throw to Ibar, who gets to the bag in time and on the run. Wow, a lot going on there. Freeman with a nice pick and a perfect throw to end the Phillies' second. In attendance Thursday, August 18th, we'll get a one-of-a-kind Andruw Jones The Catch bobblehead. This is one you don't want to miss. Go to Braves.com/tickets and get your seats today.
That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. He's climbing the wall.
A lot of youngsters in the crowd this weekend. Maybe their last chance to smile for a while. I understand that school will be in session on Monday. For many,
that seems early. Guess because it is.
So Velasquez, the last out of the second inning, took a little extra time to get ready for his turn on the mound. He'll face Markakis, Garcia, and Ender Inciarte. And a line drive out of play. Back to the Velasquez trade rumors. I mentioned that the Marlins, who are desperate for pitching, they acquired Andrew Cashner and Colin Ray from San Diego today. Jared Cozart went the other way, along with a handful of minor leaguers, in a big deal this afternoon.
Yeah, one of them was their first-round draft pick from last year.
Whose name escapes me?
Naylor.
Naylor. Well, if
an outfielder. First baseman.
0-2 for Markakis. And he puts a charge into that ball and cracks it to deep right center field. Altair, sliding try, won't get it. It'll be a ground rule double. Oh, baby, did that ball jump off Nick's bat. And that's the first Braves hit.
I mentioned to you, Chip, during batting practice today that Nick Markakis was efforting to hit virtually every ball in the seats. He was driving the ball. Wow, Altair almost came up with that. He was hitting balls up in the terrace level in right field, and almost like he was trying to get a stroke back to drive the ball, and he almost hit that one out.
So an excellent start for the Braves in the second. Adonis Garcia is going to come up, and he's the hottest Braves hitter, riding a 10-game hitting streak. Pop fly down the right field line and hit it for the seats. And the numbers inside Adonis's run are our Georgia Lottery hitting the jackpot.
Gotta like what he's been doing. Huge slugging percentage. 3 and 6 on the homers and RBIs. He has 17 hits in those 10 games. That's impressive.
Yeah, there aren't many guys that can get 1.7 hits per game over a 10-game stretch, but he's doing it.
Yeah. Gotta like Velasquez's loose arm. All comes out of his hand. So nice.
Nothing in 2. And a shot to short. That won't advance the runner. That takes care of Garcia for out number 1.
That's some good base running too. That's one of those balls that when it's hit hard you want to take off for third. Nick would have been an out. Velasquez spent a little time on the disabled list earlier this season. He had some right bicep tendonitis that was bothering him, but since he's come back, 5 starts since then, he's 3-0 with a .270. But he too has walked a bunch of guys lately. 8 in his last 13 innings coming into this game.
And we keep talking about the exorbitantly high price for pitching. Well, Velasquez was part of the haul the Phillies got in the Ken Giles trade. Mark Appel, Brett Oberholzer, Tom Eshelman, and Harold Arausch for Ken Giles and Jonathan Arausch right before Christmas last year.
And at least 3 of those guys have pitched in the big leagues this year for the Phillies. Maybe 4. Be interesting to see what happens to Mark Appel, who was such a highly touted pitcher out of Stanford.
2-0 pitch is lifted to center, and that's playable for Herrera. Markakis thinking about tagging. There's the catch, and there'll be no play at third. 2 outs after the leadoff double, and now it's up to A.J. Pierzynski.
Under the heading of little things, leadoff double. I know that Adonis really smacked that ball hard to short, but if he gets him over to third base, that's an easy sacrifice fly to score on and get the lead.
A.J. has a hit in 11 of his last 13 games. That covers play since the 4th of July. A.J. and Anthony Recker sharing time behind the plate, with Tyler Flowers still out with a broken hand. Interesting shift employed by the Phillies. The second baseman and first baseman are really bunched near the first base line, and Galvis is still on the third base side of second up the middle.
We'll see if that holds if A.J. comes up with nobody on.
Ground ball, easy play. Velasquez to the bag, and the Braves miss a great chance to score the game's first run. We head to the third. Top of the order for the Phillies coming up. In Atlanta, as we've completed 2 quick innings here at Turner Field, and it's time for tonight's Cold Hard Facts, brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light.
And for the Braves, it's their pitching against the NL East and all the other divisions, including interleague play. 3.65 ERA against the East, pretty respectable there. A lot fewer runs, better opponent's batting average. See if that holds tonight.
Cesar Hernandez walked to start the game.
Braves are 17 and 24 against the East.
One ball, 2 strikes for the Phillies leadoff man. And still 1-2. Just past 8 o'clock as we kick off our alumni weekend celebration here at Turner Field. As that would miss low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Had a great on-field ceremony introducing all the alumni who were here. And just before we came on the air at the end of the Braves live programming, I hope you saw that great shot of Francisco Cabrera and Sid Bream. That was wonderful. Ground ball to third. Adonis has a tough play. He shoots it over to first on a bounce. And Cesar Hernandez is aboard for a second time, this time via an infield hit. Well, our first alumnus is kind enough to join us up in the booth. Remember the wily left-hander Charlie Lee Brandt? He had a terrific year in that 1991 season for the Braves. And look at those cat-like reflexes. And Charlie is kind enough to join Joe and me up in the booth. Great to see you again.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me up.
You bet. We were just in Minnesota reliving that World Series. My goodness, what a series that was.
I'm still trying to live that down.
Oh, no.
No, we're not going there on this weekend.
Braves wouldn't have been there if it weren't for you, Charlie.
What are your memories of that incredible 1991 year?
That was probably about the most exciting year for me as a player. Fans in Atlanta were just unbelievable. We started to get hot in the second half of the season, hadn't won in years, and they got behind us, and we started playing some good baseball, and had a good young team, and we got hot at the right time, and won a lot of games, had a lot of fun, and won some big games down the stretch, and then even to get to the World Series, it was very, very exciting, and the fans propelled us to the heights that we got to.
Yeah, you were the veteran leader, if there is a term like that, for that young pitching staff. You had Tom Glavine, you had John Smoltz, you had others on that staff. What was it like sort of taking those young pitchers under your wing in that first and then, of course, big second half for the ball club?
Well, I was just trying to lead by example. Even back up a little bit, I had some shoulder problems as I first came over here and wasn't very good in 1990, but got my feet on the ground, and I just tried to lead by example. I'm not a guy that does a whole lot of rah-rah talk in the clubhouse, so I just try to go out there about my business and try to show guys how I pitch, and that was spotted my fastball, changing speeds, and we had a very, very talented staff. I don't think I helped those guys too much. They were just young kids starting to get their feet wet, and as you can see what they did.
That one got by Jace Peterson in left field. That's going to score a run, and the Phillies get a break and lead 1-0.
So those guys were, those young guys were unbelievable. You could see the talent at a young age, and they got better and better and better.
We saw that happen to Jace in Minnesota, where he looked up a little bit before he was actually going to field the ball, and this time it cost the Braves a run. Charlie, Tom Glavine's also said quite often about that 91 season, about with the additions of Terry Pendleton, Rafael Belliard, Sid Bream, that you turn around and go, oh, we got some guys that can catch the ball. What a difference that made for you guys as a staff, huh?
No question. John Schuerholz came in and did a very, very nice job. John traded me a few times. He got me over here, and but yeah, what a team. We didn't catch it that well in 1990. We hit it okay, but for that pitching staff, we needed guys that could catch it, and we got Terry, who was awesome, and Sid, great leadership in the clubhouse, and I'm not sure early on we thought we could win, but we got to the break and we weren't too far behind, and we started playing well as the season progressed in the second half, and we just believed, and a lot of it was due to those guys.
At one point, the Braves in 91, Charlie, were 39-40. You finished 55-28. At one point, 9.5 games behind the Dodgers. What was it like coming out of the break, knowing you had some work to do, and then seeing the Dodgers flounder and you guys got on a roll?
I'm not sure coming out of the break that we were really sure that we were contenders, but we won a fair amount of games coming out of the break, and the Dodgers lost a bunch of games, so we got right back in it right away, and I think that caused us to believe, and we just took it from there. Good young team that didn't know any better. Just went out there every day. Weren't scared. Played hard. Played with a chip on their shoulder. And those guys we had some good young pitching. We pitched it pretty good every day, and we had a solid bunch of guys that hit it, and we had a bunch of clutch hitting down the stretch. So it was just a good combination of guys. A fun bunch of guys to play with.
Line to short. That'll be the second out. And safely back is Herrera.
There's one guy here that sometimes gets overlooked, in my opinion, from some of the good runs you guys put together, 91, 92, and that's Greg Olson, who did a great job as a receiver for you guys too.
I love pitching to Ole. You're one of the favorite guys that in my career, and I get a chance to pitch to Johnny Bench and Bob Boone and Jim Sundberg, all great catchers. Obviously, Johnny, the best catcher in baseball history. But Ole was fun. We just synced up real well, and he seemed to know what I wanted to throw, and just real good back there. Just did a really nice job.
I know a lot of fans in the Southeast, Charlie, wondering what you're doing these days. What keeps you busy?
I've been coaching high school baseball at Marist High School here in town for, gosh, I think 16, 17 years. So that's something I've enjoyed, and I've gone down to Braves spring training now for the last 2 or 3 years, and Roger lets me do that, and I get to hang around the guys and see a talented bunch of guys down there. So that's fun too. And my son, I had a couple of boys playing college ball a couple of years ago, so I've watched them play quite a bit, and I've still got a son playing, and actually he's playing with the Phillies in the Phillies organization. So try to get down and watch him when I can.
Charlie, it's great to see you. Welcome back to Turner Field. Congratulations. Hard to believe it was 25 years ago that this amazing venture began.
Isn't it something? 25 years. But thanks for having me up here, guys. I really appreciate it.
You had a big hand
Don't
in
be
it.
a stranger.
Great Charlie Lee Brandt.
Thank you.
It's 1-0 Phillies. MLB.com at bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet.
You could do a disclaimer for like car sales.
Well, our recently birthdayed producer Brian Woodrum said if you could please motor through that promo.
Oh, okay. I get it then.
Yeah.
It all goes together.
As I've been told before, I'm just the guy that reads the cards, Joe.
Something like that.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Ibar, Jenkins, and Peterson coming up. Phillies got a break. Jace messed up a ground ball in left, and that brought home Cesar Hernandez for the first run of the night for the Phillies. Great to see Charlie Lee Brandt, one of the really good guys, and
Class act, gentlemen.
And so modest. I think we're all guilty of underappreciating what he meant to that 1991 team. He won 15 games that year. And this ball's bounced up the middle. Nice pick, off balance throw, and it's wide, and Ibar is going to reach. So the Braves have their leadoff man on. It's an infield hit for Eric Ibar, his first of the series.
All right. That gives him 5 hits in his last 12 at bats.
Yeah, let me correct that. It's his first hit against Velasquez tonight, his 3rd hit of the series. And a break for the Phillies. That one bounced off the netting. And the reason I bring up Charlie Liebrandt and what he meant to that 1991 club, personally, I think that's something the Braves have to do for their club next year. They need a veteran stabilizing force for these youngsters in rotation next year. I know you've got Julio Teheran, who is the veteran on the team, but he's what, 25, 26 years old? Yeah. I personally think that's really important, and see if the Braves do that this offseason. And you know, as a player, it's one thing to go to a coach, it's another thing to go to a colleague when things are going well or when things are going poorly.
Yeah, we've heard a lot of guys, a lot of players talk about that. That if you can talk to a teammate and know what they're going through, and they know what you're going through facing a particular ball club, sure makes things seem a little easier, a little better than what you might have built up in your head.
Tyrell Jenkins has a sacrifice already this year. He's ahead in the count, 2-0. And Velasquez is trying to throw it right through his catcher, and the Braves are trying to give him an out. Made him throw a strike. Jenkins laid it down, and it's perfect. Gorgeous bunt. His second sacrifice.
Good job. Perfect spot. Got a big smile on his face. Got a little bubble working too on the bubble gum.
Nothing to it. Lay down a butt, blow a bubble. And hope for a hit to get it tied. Jace Peterson is the hitter. He grounded out in the opening inning. Before we get too deep into this ball game tonight, let's recap last night. Rough outing for Matt Wisler. We didn't have a chance to talk about that on Braves Live today. Matt was sent down to Gwinnett to try to straighten some things out. And I was really proud of the way Matt handled his post-game scrum in the Braves locker room last night. He said, look, the results earned me this trip to Gwinnett. Matt gave up a lot of home runs and just really wasn't himself for about a month or so on the mound.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I think it was coming, and Brian Snitker, Roger McDowell kept waiting for that one sign, that one start to say, okay, he's back on track, and it wasn't coming. So under different circumstances, different pressures, I'll say, to go back to AAA, he'll have a chance to get back to where he was. One of the things he said that I liked was, he said it's all about winning up here. You know, it is about results. Down there, it is different. You can afford to work on some things and get your mechanics right, for example.
Mark Bradley in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution today wrote an article about Matt and his trip back to Gwinnett, and he quoted Pete Van Wieren, who had a line that I think we all need to remember. When you look at young pitching, Pete said once, in a 3-start stretch, you'll get a good one, a bad one, and an indifferent one until they figure it out. And I think that's pretty accurate with what we've seen for the most part. And the other part we have to remember is Matt Wisler is 23 years old.
Right.
So I look forward to him getting straightened out in AAA, and he'll be back and hopefully better for it. Full count pitch. And that's outside. Velasquez has 2 on with 1 out.
hit by Herrera into the left field corner. I'm not sure what happened down there for Chase Peterson. Watch his head. No, he didn't look up on that one. He just flat missed it. I don't know if it was snaking on the grass or not. That was just a miss.
Gordon Beckham struck out his first time. 2 on, 1 out, 1-0 Phillies. And that's taken low. So with Whistler not with a big club now, there's still an opening in rotation for the Braves. Don't know who's pitching on Sunday yet for Atlanta. Monday there's an off day. And there are several possibilities at Gwinnett. And once we know who that will be, we'll tell you, but we don't know at this point.
And Ryan Weber is back.
Ryan Weber is here, and Braves have a stacked bullpen tonight because, again, going back to the rumor mill, some reports that Jim Johnson is being heavily scouted. So Weber gives the Braves a little bullpen protection should something happen trade-wise in the game. Base hit up the middle by Beckham. Here comes Ibar around third. The throw's back into second. Atlanta's tied the game on Gordon Beckham's 22nd RBI.
Gordon came back from his second stint on the disabled list, just cold as ice, really struggling. But there are some good signs. And it started with a good game in Minnesota a couple of nights ago. He got a base hit last night coming off the bench and drew a walk. And now an RBI single this evening. Hopefully it's a sign of more things to come because he was swinging the bat real well before that second stint.
Now the Braves have a chance for a big inning themselves. Freddie Freeman is the hitter and takes a belt-tie strike. Freddie's had great luck against the Phillies. 13 hits, 4 of them homers this year. Good stop. And Freddie's our Home Depot tools from the dugout feature.
10 games, 351 average, 4-8. This is one of those guys for the Braves that the other side is trying to figure out what do we got to do to get this guy out. We're not pitching him right.
Now Rupp is out for a chat with Velasquez.
Velasquez has been good on the road record-wise, 4-1, 489, but at home even better, 4-1 with a 150. Something that was really odd when I was looking at some of the Phillies team notes today, Chip, was the fact that at their own ballpark, Citizens Bank Park, they've been out-homered by the opponent 72-45.
How does that happen?
I was really surprised to see that. They've actually hit more homers on the road than opponents, but they've been clobbered at home by opponents' home runs.
Two balls and a strike for Freeman. Wind has died down a bit as the sun dips toward the horizon. And a good take by Freddie. Close pitch. 3 balls and a strike. That's skied foul left side. Full count. Peterson and Beckham, the Braves runners, both run well. See if Freddie can split a gap someplace. Jammed him. Long run, Galvis. He's there. He's got it. Nice range by Freddie Galvis. Freddie Freeman's the second out.
Nice pitch by Velasquez, too. He kept coming in on Freeman. Finally got one in there enough to get an out. Fastball. Four-seamer. All Freddie could do is fight it off.
Well, Nick Markakis hit a ground rule double leading off the second. Atlanta would like another one of those here. Braves have tied it up in the third, one apiece. Strike one. Nick's hitting .309 with runners in scoring position, the best average on the team among qualifying hitters. This is his 111th at bat with a runner at second or third this year. And he's knocked in an even 50 to this point. 1-1.
Uh-oh. Velasquez almost flipped that ball out far enough where the runners could advance. He was just trying to look like stretch his arm out some.
That's in the seats. It's now 1-2.
Velasquez breaking ball of choice is more slider than curveball. More sliders than curveballs and more changeups, straight changes than curveballs. Live arm. 6'3", 205. He's 24 years old.
Phillies are excited about their farm system. They're excited about the trades they have made. They're really excited about the payroll flexibility they will have over the next 2 years. Biggest payday for them next year will be the $10 million buyout of Ryan Howard. 2 years from now, their biggest payroll will be $2 million. Base hit to right. That's going to get down in front of Altair. Here comes Peterson around to score, and Nick Markakis has put the Braves in front. He's 2 for 2.
Like you said, Chip, he's been one of the better Braves hitters with runners in scoring position, even with 2 out, or especially with 2 out. Fastball up and away. And again, as good a round of batting practice as I've seen him have all year.
So the Braves are in front here in the third inning. 51 RBIs for Nick now. And Adonis Garcia is the batter. He hit a rocket to short but was retired in the second inning. And to the first row of the upper deck. Off to our right. It's 0-2.
What a pleasant night for alumni weekend to start. A lot of folks here for that. A lot of kids here for their last weekend, as you said, before school. See a few fireworks.
Or as my kids used to put it, last weekend of freedom, Dad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and 2. Lifted toward right. Altair will have room. And in the corner he goes to make the play, and that retires the side. Braves cash in 3 singles, score 2 runs. Sid Bream had an unforgettable moment in Braves history. That's his knee brace in the Braves Hall of Fame and Museum. It's 2-1 Atlanta after 3. Annual tradition here on Alumni Weekend, we revisit the great play of Sid Bream.
You know, it's funny, we talk about this play all the time, as well we should, as one of the great plays in Braves history. But those first 2 shots of that video, you know, Sid could hit and he could pick it too.
Yeah, nobody talks about the flying feet of Sid Bream. Yeah. Right?
I appreciate that, Joe.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's great to be back with you guys. I mean, you guys are tremendous. You guys are great ambassadors. I love you guys.
Well, we love having you here, and Joe and I keep shaking our heads when we think back. It's been 25 years. Can you believe it?
Don't tell me that. I know that. I mean, you know, truthfully, I mean, it's been. I go out and I speak and tell these kids that are sitting there. I said, if you're 24 years or younger, you weren't even born. I mean, and it just makes me feel old, real old.
Yeah. Right? Well, take us back to 1991. We know about the history of the Braves before 1991.
Yeah.
This was franchise was in tough shape. It really was. What were your thoughts when you came here, and what did you hope to accomplish in your early days when you first put on a Braves uniform?
Well, I would just say this. You know, in all truthfulness, I just came from a team with the Pittsburgh Pirates that had gone through the same exact thing. I mean, because when I got to the Pittsburgh Pirates, we lost 103 ball games that first year in 1986. 103, 104, somewhere in that neck of the woods. So we were the worst team, and then we slowly built up to the place where in 1990 we competed. We were the National League East champs and went against the Cincinnati Reds. And you know, so for me, you know, to make that decision to come down here was not an easy decision. You know, Pirates, right after we lost the Cincinnati Reds, came out in the paper and said Sid Bream's our first priority to sign for the 1991 season. So we were ecstatic. We were thinking, man, you know, I'm going to be here, you know, get a multi-year contract. And then they didn't do anything with my contract, and you know, didn't give me any market price or anything like that. And so for that, Braves gave me a great offer. And I came down here really not even understanding what was going on, but understanding through contract, through talking, that they needed some leadership. And, you know, with Terry coming in and Charlie Leibrandt and Rafael Belliard and so on and so forth, we just got to the place that, you know, Terry and I started to talk quite a bit with Charlie, and we came up with a game plan, understanding you had guys, David Justice, John Smoltz, Tommy Glavine, Steve Avery, Ronnie Gant. I mean, just a host of great ball players, but they just didn't know how to win. And so we just started to devise a plan, and with Bobby Cox's blessing, allowed us to have team meetings without a micromanaging coach over top of us, and we just started to hash it out and talk about what needed to take place in order for us to be a winner. And slowly but surely, it started to happen.
How much of that, Charlie, Sid, was about these guys, you and Charlie and et cetera, about discipline, about what it takes to show up every day ready to play?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, what we took notice to in spring training was those guys, those individuals came to the ballpark for one purpose, and that was to show off, to hit their ball, and to get their paycheck every 2 weeks. I mean, and they really had there was no thought in their mind. I mean, not that they didn't want to win, because they did want to win, but they didn't have that process in their head about what to do in order to win. And, you know, little by little, you know, Terry, I just give him all the kudos in the world. I mean, Terry was a tremendous captain, tremendous leader on the team, and really took these guys, pulled them by their ears and said, guys, this is what needs to happen. I mean, you know, we need to believe. I mean, we have a great team. We need to believe, you know, so many other things, and slowly but surely it started to happen.
Was there a moment after the All-Star break when you guys started making a bit of a move where all of that began to click in?
I mean, and Joe, I tell people, I said that second half of the season, I mean, was the greatest time frame for me in my baseball history. I mean, just watching the team, and it had started earlier than that, but I mean, you know, after that All-Star break, and we started to, you could really see the momentum, the confidence in those guys when they went out onto the field. That was such a blessing to me. I had so much fun that year.
You got goosebumps talking about it.
I do. I mean, absolutely.
He really does.
Because I mean, that was such a highlight for me to see a team just turn things around, and you know, where we came from 9 games back after All-Star break, and worked our way down to that one game, and to see it all happen. I mean, it was just and then to see this city just adopt us.
Sure.
I mean, you know, this city was just amazing to see how they just adopted this team, and the excitement was there, and so it was just a fun year that year for us.
Last 83 games of the regular season in 1991, the Braves won 55 of them. At one point, the Braves were a game under 500, 39-40, and 9.5 games out of first place. And we all know how that story ended. So forget about the series against the Pirates. Let's go back to the last game of the season when the Braves clinched at the old ballpark. What was that moment like with a packed house and the final outs recorded, and all of a sudden the Braves had shocked the baseball world to win the West?
You know, again, we win. We have to beat Houston.
Right.
Dodgers have to get beat by the San Francisco Giants for us to get in, and you know, we had the opportunity to play before that team did, so we got out there, and everything worked out great for us. We won the ball game, and then we sat out there in the lawn and watched up on the big screen. You know, we watched the Dodgers get beat by the Giants, and again, it was a celebration, kind of like you have after you win a National League championship or something. It's a celebration because, I mean, good grief, we came from so far back to get where we were. I mean, it was just phenomenal.
I don't remember the final score of that Dodgers-Giants game, but I do remember on the old scoreboard, it was late in the game here, and the Giants had a big inning. And they had the old video highlights on the black and white scoreboard that were as primitive now as you can imagine. And someone in the old ballpark very cleverly said, update from wherever the game was, LA, the Giants in the 6th score, and they just kept adding up the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 runs. And
this place was wow.
It was up for grabs.
Absolutely.
Beckham, great stop. His throw to first pulls Freeman off the bag, and all hands are safe. Vince Velasquez is aboard with a 2-out infield hit.
You guys aren't doing your job here. You're supposed to be announcing.
We got 2 quick outs.
Yeah, exactly. See?
And then we turned it over to you.
Yeah, we did our part. We did our part.
Now, the Braves are going through some challenges now, Sid. That's no secret. Maybe not a whole lot unlike what the 1990 Braves went through in terms of trying to get things on track. They have made some deals for a lot of young players, especially pitchers. But if there's one thing you could pass along to them, what would it be?
Well, again, I think one thing that took place back then that I know he gets credit, but John Schuerholz did such a great job of filling holes, necessary holes, but also bringing in guys that had winning attitudes. They knew what winning was all about.
The right people.
The right people. I mean, you know, I can't give him enough kudos for what he was able to accomplish at that point in time. And then we all know about how many championships and stuff we had here. But, you know, for these guys, I mean, I think somebody needs to step up as far as leadership's concerned. You know, Freddie, you know, I know him, but I don't know what kind of an individual he is. But somebody has to take control, and they got to get the right people here. If you don't have the right people, you're not going to win. And you know, we had good grief. I mean, you got Ronnie Gant, and like I said, David Justice, and you got Terry Pendleton, and you know, well, initially it was Jeff Treadway, and we had Rafael Belliard that could pick anything. And you know, you just had a great squad with your pitching staff with John Smoltz, Avery, Glavin. You know, you got 3 qualified starters right there, and so we certainly had the core, and it was just a matter of going out there with the right attitude to win.
2-0 pitch.
Just kind of needed to be shown the way a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you know, again, I think up in Pittsburgh. I mean, since I live up in Pittsburgh, I watched 22 years of losing since, you know, from the time that I slid home, and you know, I watched, and I can't even think of their manager's name right now, but he finally came in. Yeah. Where all the other managers.
Clint Hurdle.
Yeah, Clint Hurdle. Thank you. Where all the other managers never changed the attitude of the team. I mean, and Clint has come in and just really switched gears and changed the attitude, and that's what needs to take place here. I mean, this team needs to get to the place where they believe, they trust in themselves, they trust in the team, and you know, to me, it's a lot about what Ned Yost has done with Kansas City. They play small ball. They do the things that make others trust in them. You know, if I get a guy on second base with nobody out, and I work to get that guy to third base, I'm trusting that guy in the on-deck circle is going to get that guy in, and when he does, you're creating a team atmosphere. But when I get a guy on second base and I do something, I pull the ball and I don't get that guy to third base, you're just creating, you know, disunity on the team. And I think so much of the time, you know, that's what I appreciate about Ned with the Kansas City Royals. He has done such a great job with that mindset of creating team effort. And when you do that, and then everybody starts to trust, and you start to build that relationship with each other, and you start to win.
That's such a good point.
Full count pitch is tipped. With the moments in this inning hopefully about to come to a close for Terrell Jenkins, we had a great shot of you and Francisco Cabrera before the game. I don't remember seeing the two of you at Alumni Weekend until this year. Is that accurate?
I think that Frankie was here, how many years ago? Frankie was here so many years ago, but haven't seen him in such a long time. And you know, we did those commercials back after the thing was over with, and I had such a great time with Frankie at that because he didn't speak any English.
Perfect.
But you know, just to see Frankie again, I mean, what an unbelievable individual. Did such a great job, and you know, kudos to him. He was the one that really and truly did the great thing that night. I was just slow enough to make it exciting.
Well, here's a look at that before the game. Sid and Francisco Cabrera together again.
Look at those bellies, though. I mean,
no, so you two never. You guys don't even look like you've aged.
Oh my goodness.
There's not a gray hair in this head.
Yeah, I believe there is. I mean, see, I just spray hairspray, and the black goes with the gray, and it makes it look black.
That's the secret.
That's the secret. My brother keeps on thinking. I mean, because he's pretty much all gray, and my brother keeps on thinking I'm dyeing my hair, and I'm telling you, I don't dye my hair, but I just spray it with hairspray. And it brings the black and the gray, and the black dominates the gray.
What a coincidence.
But I can't argue that. Here's Odubel Herrera all of a sudden 2-out trouble, a walk, an infield hit, and another walk for Jenkins.
Yeah, those deep counts again,
Yep.
Chip.
A 2-1 lead in jeopardy now. And he swings at the first pitch. Thank you very much. Jace Peterson is under. He's got it.
See, he just did that. He just did that, so I had a little bit of time with you. Otherwise, if we'd had
Right.
3 outs that quick, I'd have been going.
That's
We'd
right.
have you here for 9 if we could. Sid, it's great to see you.
Likewise,
Happy
Joe.
Alumni Weekend.
Joe,
Happy
thank you,
25th
guys.
anniversary of one of the greatest years in Atlanta history, the 1991
Good man.
Atlanta Braves. Tweet of the week. Our question this evening is, who's your favorite Braves player all time and why? Tweet us at Fox Sports South using hashtag #FaveBrave. And your answer could be read during our Braves Live post-game show.
Tell you what, when you base it on applause tonight, when each guy was introduced, it'd be very hard to figure out which one got the most applause, but the guy that got the most applause, in my opinion, wasn't a player.
First the pitch to Ender Inciarte. Was he a player?
No, he was a manager.
Oh, yes, yes, he was. Big ovation for Bobby Cox here tonight. John Schuerholz was the master of ceremonies. John with a very nice, welcoming, and warm speech reflecting on all that these Braves alumni have done for the franchise dating back to 1966 and of course culminating in the 14 division championship flags that are on the wall in left. So what a wonderful and fitting way to help write the final chapters of this ballpark. Braves will move into SunTrust Park next year. Of course, there'll be a lot of new memories created there.
And I got to tell you, it's probably bittersweet for a lot of the guys to come back here knowing it may be their last trip back to Turner Field.
That's scorched into right field on an 0-2 pitch. Ender Inciarte has a leadoff hit for the Braves in the fourth.
You know, this is the park where they created a lot of the memories that these fans talk about and enjoy. And beginning next year, this place will be a memory too.
But many of them will have one last shot at glory on the turf at Turner Field tomorrow. Right? A.J. Brzezinski's the batter. He bounced out his first time up. It's funny, 25 years ago, a lot of those guys were thinking, man, how great would it be to have a walk-off winning hit? A lot of them will be happy to be able to walk off without a limp.
Yes.
Tomorrow. So let's hope for no hamstring pulls. A.J. Brzezinski. And Ibar as he takes a strike.
Well, we know for a fact that there won't be any, it's slow pitch softball, of course, but there won't be any pop-ups in foul territory to the third baseman because Smoltz won't be here.
Oh. That's right. Now, is John going to come upstairs and talk to us tonight?
He's supposed to. And I believe he and Greg Olson will work in tandem on pulling the sheet off the number in left field later, too.
One ball, one strike as we move toward the 9 o'clock hour.
You know, it's kind of a late arriving crowd in a way. It's filled in pretty nicely tonight.
AJ wasn't happy with that swing. Count to him 1-2. Braves are trying to snap a 5-game losing streak with the Phillies. They lead 2-1. Phillies loaded the bases with 2 outs, couldn't push across a run, and a shot off the glove of Joseph. That'll trickle into right field. Everybody's safe, and A.J. Brzezinski got a big break. It would have been a sure double play, but A.J.'s aboard. 2 on, nobody out.
This is what happens when you're only 90 feet away and somebody rifles a shot at you. You just get your glove waffled. Look at that. Big old first baseman's glove that's kind of flimsy out on the end. That was a rope.
So a break for the Braves. 2 on, nobody out for Eric Ibar. Always a treat to have Paul Byrd with us. Let's not forget Paul Byrd's an Atlanta Braves alumnus.
I appreciate
Paul,
that.
this has to bring back memories for you too.
It does, and it is bittersweet because you still want to play, but you realize you can't. So you miss it a lot. But I'd like to touch on what Joe said real quick, which is the importance of Bobby Cox being at the helm and leading a lot of these great men. John Schuerholz made great decisions, and he had Bobby Cox, who was so great at dealing with people, and I had the pleasure of signing next to him today. And yes, we had the longest line at the Team Bobby Cox table, way bigger than Smoltz and Glavine. And I was really overtook by all the fans who thanked him for the amount of times that he was ejected. And I started pausing on that and why that was, and they all said, thank you. We appreciated every one of them. We were with you on every one of them. And I realized that you have a manager who always stuck up for his players, even when he was wrong, was going down with the ship. And when you have a guy at the helm that does those kind of things, you want to run through a wall for that guy, always getting the most out of his players, always great at dealing with people.
Well said, Paul.
1-1 pitch for Ibar with nobody out.
And there are a lot of times where a manager, and particularly Bobby, went out to make sure his player didn't get thrown out. You know, he'd take the heat off of his player by getting in an umpire's face and diverting his attention a little bit so that his player could stay in the game.
That's right, and I don't know if there was a certain code look, but I remember a few pitchers who I may not want to name right now who would look over at Bobby, meaning, hey, I think that ball was a strike, and instead of them saying something to the umpire, which you can't as a pitcher, Bobby would make sure that he let the umpire know they did not agree with the call. And as a former pitcher, I can tell you that feels really good when somebody is fighting for you, trying to get you every pitch, because as you guys know, there's that one pitch in a big situation that can hurt you. Bobby Cox always fighting tooth and nail for everything out there. A very good feeling as a former player.
So would you consider him, Paul, to have been the ultimate players manager in that regard?
I would. And guys, you know, you talked about what happened to Whistler. Bobby Cox sent me down twice.
Fly ball left. That's playable for Ashe. Let's see if the Braves try to tag. They won't. 1 out. Ibar can't move. Inciarte and Brzezinski up. Now the pitcher hits with 2 on and 1 away. Sorry, Paul.
And it was one of the best things that ever happened to me because I knew I had to get better. He told me the truth. He didn't beat around the bush. And I felt like he cared about me. So it takes a very special person who can deal with people to give you the news that you don't want to hear, but it's exactly what you need to further your career. Pitched for the Braves 97, 98, and 03, 04, they brought me back. And when I walk in and gave Bobby Cox a big hug. I was so glad to be part of the maturation process that he began by simply telling me the truth. So not just with umpires and other things, but behind the scenes, he knew how to say things in the right way that would bring the best out of you. And that had to do with encouragement as well as just being honest.
And you know what? That's exactly right, Paul. It's rare that there's the manager who can talk to you in such a way when he is sending you down to make you feel when you walk out of there that it is the best thing for you. You know, that he's doing me a favor. I got to go down and get right, and then I'll be back.
And when I played, Joe, you had 3 days. Excuse me, you had 3 days. You didn't have to go down right away. You could take 3 days off to clear your head. And when Bobby finished talking with me, I was there the next day because I knew I had to get better. And he changed any sort of pouty attitude that may had in there. He changed with the way he talked to me, telling me what I needed to do to get back and be successful in the big leagues. So I didn't feel like, hey, we're bringing in somebody else. We got to get this Bird guy out of here. He was really talking to me about what I needed to do to be successful up here, and that changed me. And so, you know, I can't say enough about him having your back. And guys, in 97, 98, I was the last guy on the roster. He treated me like, you know, everybody else who were the superstars.
Great story.
0-2 for Jenkins. And he takes a Velasquez fastball up and out of the zone. Tyrell laid down a bunt his last time. That helped lead to the 2 runs he has in support this evening. And that one's bunted foul. Jenkins is struck out. And this is the second time tonight that the Braves have had a runner at second base and nobody out and haven't been able to advance them. That was back in the second inning when Marquez led off with a 2-base hit. Now first and second, nobody out. Ibar flies out. Jenkins strikes out.
Well, the Braves have had a good approach tonight against Velasquez. They've racked up 6 hits and have drawn a walk. He's only struck out 2, and that's unusual for him.
Chase Peterson has walked and scored. He's also bounced out to second. And a pickoff try, and the throw's in center field. Inciarte's on his way to third base. And the Braves get him at second and third now on a throwing error.
Phillies defense has let him down a lot this year. It's not sharp. Quick move by Galvis, but a poor throw by Velasquez. And it wouldn't surprise me if Inciarte wasn't trying to draw a throw. He's so instinctive on the bases, and he was kind of looking over his shoulder for Galvis, but a big lead that forced a bad throw.
So a hit could score a pair of runs. Remember, A.J. Przinsky's the trailer. He's at second base, Inciarte at third. And he's a strike.
We just heard the chop and the chant after that happened, getting to second and third. That started in '91 too, didn't it, Chip?
It did. Yeah, Pete and I were doing a game out in San Diego, and that was a remarkable thing. I think Mark Wohlers was pitching, and there were a whole lot of Braves fans in San Diego because of the Superstation, and they started the chant out at Jack Murphy Stadium. And I think that's when Pete started to feel that, wow, there really is something special that's starting to brew here. And it's not like the Braves didn't have success. Remember when Joe Torre managed here, they finished first, second, and second in the Western Division. And then Joe Torre left and was fired. And the old line was, well, if I'd done this in reverse, maybe he'd still be managing.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, things didn't go well for a long, long time. 9 years. Out of play foul. It's still 0-2 at 9 o'clock Eastern time.
remember in '92 when I got here, in the aftermath of what was an awesome worst to first season, and the fans still on fire from the World Series, everything was still just all Braves, that we had a contest on the air for the Braves' sister city, and there were a lot of people that are a lot of towns that made their case for their town to be the Braves' sister city to Atlanta.
A swing and miss.
And as should be, Tomahawk, Wisconsin was the winner.
2-1 is your score. We're off to inning number 5. With you on Alumni Weekend, here's the resume of Greg McMichael. 44 saves in his tenure with the Atlanta Braves. And he took part in a couple of World Series for Atlanta. And folks, if you want to thank anybody for the success of Alumni Weekend here in Atlanta, this is the gentleman to do it. Great job. Joe and I were talking about it. This is really one of, if not our favorite weekends of the baseball season.
It's great. I mean, just having all these guys from the different eras. I was telling Joe, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. It's a lot of fun just being around, hearing the stories, talking to guys. Of course, you know, I have my group of guys that I played with, but some of these guys, I don't know a lot of the players and don't know things. So just listening is just a lot of fun.
And what they went through.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
Kind of the build up to what the Braves started back in '91. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
But I know Pete Van Wieren was very instrumental too in trying to get this going with the alumni, because he certainly had a lot of contacts and a lot of close friends from when he and Skip first came here. So I want to mention him too, and how instrumental he was in kind of getting this going. But you've picked it up and run with it, and we all appreciate it.
Well, thank you. It's been a real pleasure to have the opportunity to kind of work in this arena, you know, with Mike Plant, John Schuerholz, giving me this opportunity to be able to just get out there, promote the Braves. We've got all these great alumni in Atlanta and around the Southeast. And, you know, we want them to continue to have a positive experience with us. They all have families who are in the communities, and that was really the goal, is to have them really feel good about this organization, and let them know that we want them back. And, you know, of course, I think it's great for these young players here that are current players, just to see our rich tradition and history of great players, to see them like, oh, yeah, I remember those guys growing up, just like I grew up listening to Pete and you know, and great announcers, and watched the teams from the 80s, and these guys grew up watching us, so it's great to have them back.
Has anybody said to you, I used to watch you when I was a kid.
Oh.
Have you gotten that one?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've got a 23-year-old, so yeah.
So you hear that all the time,
Yeah,
don't you?
exactly.
2 balls, 2 strikes for Tommy Joseph. And that's fouled away. One of the questions that fans have for all of us is, what is the schedule for the rest of the weekend? This is the really first night with the introduction of the players. What can we expect tomorrow and then again on Sunday?
Yeah, so tonight we did our traditional signing with the fans, which was great. Tomorrow we've got our softball game, and that'll start around introductions about 5:15. And in lieu of
deep center, and Ciarte is there. 2 outs.
Yeah, so in lieu of Braves batting practice and the Phillies practice, we're going to have our annual softball game. And then we'll introduce, of course, it's going to be the 91 team versus the rest of us. And so we'll take them on in our game, and then, you know, they'll introduce the players that we have here. And then on Sunday, we'll have our annual photographs with the fans. So we'll, much like today where we set up in stations around the stadium, we'll do that just for pictures on Sunday.
That's great.
I think your group has a decided advantage because Smoltz isn't playing tomorrow here, right?
Smoltzy cannot. I'm sure it's killing him that he can't be here to compete in the softball game. He looks forward to that. But we've got some good players, and we'll do our best to get out there and run around.
I just told Chip, at least with John not playing, there won't be any pop-ups in foul territory tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's he prides himself on still getting out there.
Aaron Altair pops it to second. Gordon Beckham is there, and Tyrell Jenkins is through 5 with a chance to win tonight.
He needed the quick inning too.
Mac, congratulations.
Yes.
Always fun to have you with us on Alumni Weekend.
Thanks for having me up.
2 more fantastic days here at the ball.
All right, looking forward to it. Thank you.
Live this. Remember?
I bet you it was a lot easier to catch Ole back in '91 than it was tonight.
Greg Olson and John Smoltz. Count us down to 29 games left here at Turner Field. What a great shot. And our Toyota keep playing.
Yeah.
Hey, he still got hops too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. That would have been awful if that got him wrong, you know.
Those 2 guys are peas and carrots, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Sid Bream was right when he mentioned it briefly when he was up with us a moment ago. Greg Olson kind of was the glue of that whole 91 team. He came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
To be a huge part of that growth of the pitching staff and a real defensive anchor behind the plate.
Yeah, he was, in the term of catch and throw guy, he was outstanding. And also got some big hits along the way too.
What was he? He was traded for passel of bats or something like that? Was that the deal with Greg Olson?
No.
Or was it Kerry Leitenberg?
Kerry, he was coaching, he was managing an independent league team.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Up in Minnesota. Kerry Leitenberg was on the team, and to swing the deal, I think Greg's team got from the Braves, like 10 dozen baseballs and a box of bats.
Right, yeah.
Which they really needed.
Yeah, of course. It's a win-win.
Yep.
We saw Greg in the broadcast booth up at Target Field in Minneapolis, and you talk about a man that was grinning from ear to ear, thinking about coming back, seeing his teammates, reliving all those memories from the 1991 season. I mean, I would assume, Joe, even for you who didn't play for the Braves, when you go back and see your old Dodger teammates or your Royals teammates, or even the early days of your broadcasting career with Atlanta, as this one's popped up towards second. It's not like flipping through the pages of the media guide and reading the history. I would imagine all of that comes flooding back as if
it does.
25 years is now.
Yeah, it's not. You're right. They weren't my teammates, but they were my teammates.
Right.
We were all in this together, just as we are now, and you feel that camaraderie, and remember all those high spots and great moments. Some disappointments, but very few.
Freddie Freeman, the batter, with one out. Velasquez down a run, and that's up and away.
Don Glavine said up here last time he was up here. What was that, 2-3 years ago? That I hope he's got volume.
Oh, you know he does. His ears are burning right now.
But talked about the camaraderie. Jim Hudson's talked about the camaraderie. And that is one of the first things that hit you between the eyes, is not going to be around the guys as much as you used to be. So it's great to get back together.
2 balls, no strikes. Ground ball into the shift, and that's through. Freeman's aboard. So Freddie will reach with a 5th inning hit as the Braves look to extend the lead.
2 for 3 with 2 walks last night. Somehow, some way, split that gap between Galvis and Hernandez.
The Braves have 7 hits now. Nick Markakis has 2 of them. His 3rd inning hit brought home a run. Velasquez hasn't pitched poorly. He has not been overpowering, and the Phillies offense, which has ebbed and flowed all year, is ebbing tonight behind Terrell Jenkins. 5 innings of 4-hit ball.
Do you think when they were waiting to go out and tear the number off that John and Greg rehearsed that jump once or twice? Or did they figure, you know what, this is probably a one-shot deal.
One
better
shot
save it
and pray.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's probably the way it worked out. Although it might have been choreographed. You get a lot of help down there when you peel the numbers off. So that might have been suggested to them to try the old division-winning leap again.
Yeah, I have a feeling they kind of choreographed that themselves and then had to make up for it by waving a lot longer.
They did a great job with the wave, too.
They did. They were all over it.
Like I said, I'm just proud that Greg showed off the vertical, man. That was pretty darn close to what it was like 25 years ago, right? Two balls, 1 strike. And that's taken low.
Winning's a wonderful thing. It brings people together that might not normally be close pals or buddies or whatever in this game, but there's always a link forever when you win together. Go through a 162 game schedule.
Downstairs, Velasquez walks Nick Markakis.
Like I said, he'd walked 8 in his last 13 innings coming into this start. He's lucky it's only 2-1.
Well, let's talk about the 91 season and what it meant to this region and to this city. It had been said of Atlanta in the mid to late 80s that even with the Superstation, let's face it, there weren't many people coming to the games. Atlanta had been termed by someone, I believe, as baseball Siberia because of the poor play and the poor product that was on display. So then 1991 happens. When you win the World Series, you get a parade, right? People may forget in 1991, after the Braves did something that had not been done in 100 years. The 1890 Louisville Colonels were the first team to go worst to first in National League history. The Braves did it in 91. After that incredible World Series, as this one's hit toward third and an around the horn double play, 750,000 fans showed up to salute the Braves with a World Series losing parade.
Amazing.
To support the club. And the rest, they say, in the Southeast is history. We'll talk more about that as we head to the 6th. 2-1, Atlanta in front. (1991) on the left is 2016. Awesome.
Like I said, appeared to be a little easier for John 25 years ago.
And for my money, that's the second best number reveal of the year, behind yours. This one's shot to right, and Markakis reaches up and makes the play. But the point I was making, and shouldn't have with 2 outs, but we can revisit it now. You think about 1991, and this was not a baseball town. Fans weren't into it. They weren't coming. They weren't really watching. There wasn't a lot going on here. But then 91 happened. Think about the impact of the Atlanta Braves on the Little League programs in this city, in this state, in this region, and think of all the good players who maybe decided, I don't want to play football. I want to be David Justice. I want to be John Smoltz. I want to be Greg Olson. And as that perpetuated through the years, you think of all the good players that have come out of this city, this state, and this region. Maybe as a result of turning on the game and watching on the Superstation and seeing their favorite player do something that they never forgot, and that became their life stream.
Sure. I think you're dead on there in terms of the influence it had and has had and continues to have. And I'll speak from experience. And when we came here in '92, trying to sign Gabe up for Little League Baseball, we'd already been forewarned, better get there early.
Really?
Yeah. Long lines.
So who knows what would have happened if the Braves had continued to struggle. If 91, 92, 93 had never happened. Who knows?
Well, I don't know what the number was, but when Ted Turner bought the team and the Braves were pretty down and out, do you remember what he paid for them?
I don't. I'm in today's dollars, I'm sure we'll be shocked as Terrell Jenkins has another strikeout.
Good changeup.
I'm sure somebody could look that up for us and send us the information. I'll guess $35 million.
Oh, I think it was maybe 10.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was a ridiculous number.
And then obviously the genius of promoting his product on television every day. Sheer genius. Ground ball right side. Diving play, Beckham. Good play. Good stretch. Goodbye Phillies in the 6th. Tyrell Jenkins has set down 7 straight. He enjoys a 6th inning lead.
Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day.
There's Dale Murphy, one of his back-to-back MVP awards in National League play. Murph's here this weekend, and he's got writer's cramp too. He's been signing sundown, from sunrise to sundown, it seems, here at the ballpark, and loves doing it. Great to see him here at Turner Field.
He's been signing since the day he retired. Another giant ovation tonight for Dale.
Ender Inciarte leads off the 6th for the Braves, and he pops one up. Galvis drifts back. He says he's got it, and he does. 1 out.
Love what we're seeing from Tyrell Jenkins here over the last 3 innings, especially the 4th when he got those 2 outs, and then all of a sudden he couldn't find the strike zone and was able to get that 1 pitch out from Herrera to get out of it. And since then, that was the first of 7 in a row. Good for him.
He and AJ have worked well together tonight. And Brzezinski with an infield hit. Bats for a 3rd time. And out of play.
Eddie Perez had the catchers out throwing today. AJ, of course, was in the lineup, so he was not going through some throwing drills. Anthony Recker and Brandon Snyder were throwing in full equipment. I'll tell you what, Anthony Recker put on a show. He's got a good arm, and he was putting it on the money at second base and 3rd. Brandon Snyder, of course, kind of the emergency 3rd catcher. did a very respectable job too.
Strike three, A.J. Newitt, and he's the second out.
96.
So the bases are empty. Eric Ibar is coming up, and fans starting Thursday during Braves Live, an inside look at youth travel baseball leagues. John Smoltz, Dr. James Andrews, and others weigh in during this 4-part series, Driven, the Youth Baseball Debate. Thursday during pregame coverage on Fox Sports Southeast.
I'm really anxious to see that. I think that will be a very informative and good piece for all parents of baseball players. And it can apply to any sport, really, when it comes to youth sports. I know the president of East Cobb Baseball, Gary Baldwin, is also going to participate in that. And I think I'm looking forward to it. I haven't seen any of it. I haven't seen any excerpts or anything, but I can't wait.
Do you come down on one side or the other on the travel ball 24 hours a day, 7 days a week?
It's the 365 days a year that I have a problem with.
Right.
I think players are all too often encouraged to pick a sport when they're 10 or 11 years old, and I think that's wrong. But I don't think youth travel baseball is wrong for those players who enjoy it, who like it and want it. I mean, it would have been the greatest thing in the world for me. I would have eaten that up.
No question. Nice rebound inning for Velasquez. He had an easy frame, 3 up, 3 down, and we head to the 7th. Fans in attendance Thursday, August 18th, get a one-of-a-kind Andruw Jones The Catch bobblehead. This is one you don't want to miss. Go to Braves.com/tickets and get your seats today. There's the catch. And Brian Snitker is on his way to the mound talking with the umpires. Did he make a pitching change, or is there something physically wrong with Tyrell Jenkins? No, he's just going to take him out of the game after he equaled his career high in innings pitched as a starter.
Yeah, the Phillies had announced a pinch hitter, so I think he's going to maybe bring in a lefty. We'll see.
Tyrell leaves with the lead. We're in the 7th. Live presented by Xfinity. A lot of good ththings to talk about tonight, including 6 strong innings from Tyrell Jenkins, who leaves with the lead. We'll talk about the Smoltz-Olson leap, and hopefully we'll talk about more good bullpen work for the Braves. They have a nice scoreless string working, and Ian Kroll hopes to continue it.
His 34th appearance. Last appeared in Minnesota, just a third of an inning, got an out, and he will be entrusted to start things for the Braves bullpen here to finish this up. 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. Paredes is a switch hitter, so he'll turn around and bat right-handed, but right-handed this year. He's only 3 for 20.
So when Pete Buchanan calls on this man, he says, "I love a Paredes."
Is that what he says?
Yeah, I heard him all the way up here. As Velasquez is out of the game after he pitched 6 innings.
76 trombones.
Braves relief corps working on 15 1/3 consecutive scoreless innings. They have struck out 18 and walked only 2 in that stretch. And a bounding ball. Garcia. Oh, slick play and a strike to first.
There was also some work going on at third base during batting practice. Terry Pendleton working a lot, hitting ground balls to Adonis and again to Brandon Snyder, and it was about footwork. Terry kept demonstrating slick footwork and getting your feet right and getting them under you before you make a throw, and he did that there. Nice play.
8 straight Phillies have been retired, and now we go back to the top of the order. And Cesar Hernandez.
So it was $10 million.
You're right. It was $10 million for Ted Turner to buy the team in 1976. Do you know who the top paid player in 1976 was?
In all of baseball?
In all of baseball. He might be in the ballpark tonight, as this one's hit towards short. Ibar, same play, same result.
Loving some D. Get up quick, get rid of it quicker. Good stretch. That's the way it's done. Nice going left side. Highest paid player.
Yep.
76, maybe Mike Schmidt.
Close, but no. Hank Aaron.
Oh.
With Milwaukee, $240,000. He was the highest paid player in the game.
As he should have been.
Right. So the first $1 million player in the game was Nolan Ryan.
Well, I was just thinking about how many players today are making more than $10 million.
I've got your answer.
Okay.
There are 4 of them on the rosters tonight. 2 for the Braves, 2 for the Phillies. So Ted Turner pays $10 million in 1976 for the Braves team, the franchise, everything. This year there are 124 players making $10 million or more.
I made a joke just in generality, said there got to be 100 guys, and it's more than that.
Yeah, you were 25% low.
Golly.
Now here's an interesting twist. Do you know who the first $10 million per year player was?
I do not.
Albert Bell.
Huh.
That big deal with the White Sox.
I bet that was when the strike ended in around 80 or 94.
I'll look.
It looked like things were not going the way of the players. It looked like the owners were going to win that. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the White Sox signed Albert Bell, and it's like, okay, so you do have some money.
Yeah, that was in 1997.
Okay.
Is when that when he achieved that salary. He may have signed the contract earlier.
Yeah,
right.
okay.
First $20 million player, A-Rod. First $30 million a year player, A-Rod. Who will, by the time his career is done, just in his salary alone, over $500 million between the Rangers and the Yankees.
Well, Bryce Harper will be a free agent in a year.
Go get him.
You'll be able to use another. Go up another $10 million.
Yeah, no kid. Great effort by Ian Kroll. Great effort by the Atlanta defense. The scoreless streak in relief goes to 16 1/3. Atlanta leads at the stretch. SunTrust Moments That Matter, and today's Moments That Matter took place off the field. Braves players, coaches, wives, and front office staff visited Children's Healthcare of Atlanta at Scottish Rite Hospital. They distributed toys that were collected during the Braves' Wives Toy Drive, and they spent time with patients during room visits today. That is such an amazing and emotional afternoon. Joe and I have been fortunate enough to take part in that in years past, and look at the smiles, not just on the patients and staff, but the Braves players as well.
It's a great day.
Oh, man.
It's a great day. I bet Chase d'Arnaud did some singing somewhere in there.
And who can blame him?
No.
As Adubre Ramos is going to come on for Velasquez as the Braves hit in the 7th. And d'Arnaud is going to lead things off. Cole did a nice job, a 1-2-3 7th.
Ramos worked last night, an inning and a third, a hit, a walk, a strikeout, no runs. If you weren't with us last night, he throws hard. Fastball, curveball. 94 to 96.
There's a shot to center field. d'Arnaud with a pinch hit. So a promising start as the Braves look for some insurance. Velasquez went 6 for the Phillies. 7 hits, 2 runs, a couple of walks, 5 strikeouts. A 2-out hit by Nick Markakis, the difference in the game to this point. That was in the 2-run Braves third. Colorado's winning again. They're beating the Mets 3-1 tonight. That's Chatwood and Matz. Rockies are 10-4 since the All-Star break. They are making a move before the deadline. Any move in the standings, I mean, not a move to add or subtract.
Yeah, they may do one of those also.
Cardinals are in Miami, winning 11-6. Told you about the big trade pulled off by the Marlins with the Padres. Andrew Cashner and Colin Ray to San Diego. Ichiro started the game for Miami. Ichiro Suzuki, that is. At last report, he was 0 for 2 and needed 2 hits to get to 3,000. Dee Gordon returned last night, his first game back from suspension, and went 0 for 4. Cardinals 11, Miami 6 in the 8th at Marlins Park. Runner goes, pitch high. Rupp's throw is right on the money and safe. Galvis can't believe it. Rupp can't believe it. A laser beam throw to second, but d'Arnaud got in around the tag, and the Phillies are going to take a look at this one at second base.
I'd want to look at it too, because it looked like he was a dead out. Good crossover step. Rupp's thrown out 24% of base stealers. Did his hand get in there before the tag? Hand to the bag, and then is there a gap in there? That's the question. Is there a gap between the hand and the foot with the tag being held on him? Good slide. No, the glove comes up. Glove comes up. Oh, there's the space though.
And from that other angle, the first base side, you could see that the leg of Galvis was between d'Arnaud and the bag. And I think the Phillies aren't going to challenge this call. This is a big play. They're down a run. He's safe there. But right. Oh, man.
The trouble is, I mean, this angle shows us that the glove hit him on the shoulder. He kept it on there to the hip, then took it off. And I think when Chase's left hand came off the bag, there's a little bit of a gap in there.
But is there enough to turn the call in Philly's favor?
No, you know what? I'm watching that replay from first again on the big screen, and I think what looked to be a gap between the hand and the leg doesn't really exist. I think something was in contact with the base all along.
So New York will take a long look at this. Braves are hoping the call will be confirmed, for d'Arnaud was ruled safe on his stolen base attempt.
Now on the left side, watch his leg. We know his hand got in there ahead of the tag. Now watch his leg and see where you see his leg give when it hits the base, right there. And I'm not sure the glove was on him when that happened. I don't think he came off the bag.
Verdict is in. He is, wow, out.
Darn it. That's a tough one to overturn right there.
I can't remember the last time that was that close was overturned. So Pete Mackanin with a perfect time to use his challenge. d'Arnaud erased on a stolen base attempt. The 7th man Rupp has thrown out this year.
I got to admit, he looked out in live action, but watching that replay, I thought he got in there. And I thought Alfonso Marquez got it right, but not according to the people in New York.
Jace Peterson's walked and scored. And he skies one towards center. Herrera drifts back. He is there. 2 outs. Hey, before we get too much further in the game, I know we've been talking about Alumni Weekend all night. This is also a very special day for one of our pals in the Braves visiting clubhouse. The legendary Fred Stone,
legendary,
is celebrating his 40th anniversary with the Braves organization tonight. And his pal John Holland put together some commemorative t-shirts that he was happy to hand out before the game. I've got one up in the booth if Mike Miller can take a shot.
Let me get this tag out of the way.
There we go. There we go.
Fred Stone Fan Club Anniversary Edition.
And this is a...
And yeah, that's Fred.
So Freddie, happy anniversary. Couldn't do it without you, pal. Great man, does great work, and one of our old pals. We head to the 8th, 2-1. Atlanta the lead.
Sponsored by Delta Airlines, your local Ford dealer, The Home Depot, And Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience sports.
Oh, that's our pal Tommy Glavine receiving one of his Cy Young awards. John Schuerholz handing him the hardware. There's a rumor that Tommy is here tonight, or at least was, with his teammates at the ballpark.
Oh, yeah, we saw him get introduced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we understand that John Smoltz was going to join us tonight, but he has other obligations and is making his way to the airport. So John won't join us tonight. He will at some point, I'm sure, later in the season. As we head to the 8th, and Mauricio Cabrera is up. He's got Franco, Joseph, and Altair coming up. And the first pitch is hit to right. And playable for Markakis at the edge of the track. I think, Joe, this is a sign of the increasing confidence that Brian Snitker and Roger McDowell have with Mauricio Cabrera. You don't often bring a rookie into a one-run game to face this part of the lineup late.
Well, he's already recorded 2 saves out of his 14 games. And I think maybe the one thing that stands out is that he's only walked 4 guys. You know, he's throwing strikes. And he's climbing up that ladder for strikeouts, too. He's now got 12 and 14, now make it 15 innings. But he's throwing strikes, and that changeup's been excellent.
Quiet night so far for Tommy Joseph. He's 0 for 3. He's hit the ball in the air twice. Got to admire this guy's perseverance. You've got to admire this guy fighting through the concussions. He's gotten his chance and he's made the most of it with the Phillies. One's a little outside. 2-1 the count.
Mauricio had a multiple inning of work, a multiple out inning and a third against Minnesota his last time up. Gave up a hit, struck out 3. 2 1/3 innings in 2 games at Minnesota. He struck out 5.
Three balls, 1 strike. And he just walked Joseph with 1 out.
I hope I didn't jinx him on the strikes he's been throwing.
Tyrell Jenkins is in line for his first win. 6 innings of 4-hit, 1-run ball. Kroll workday scoreless 7th. Cabrera's trying to do the same here in the 8th. He's got Aaron Altair up. Altair had a big night last night with 3 hits. Tonight he's 0 for 3. AJ tried to steal a strike.
He didn't need to steal it. It was right there. Hunter getting ready.
Even count.
It's funny what goes through a hitter's mind when you're in the dugout or on deck. You see triple digits on the radar gun in ballparks now, and you think, well, I better tune it up a little bit. And all too many times for a hitter, that means swing harder. You think you're trying to be quick, but you're swinging harder, and in the process, slowing your bat down instead of shortening up.
The 1-ball, 2-strike pitch. Did he go? Nope.
Good pitch, though. Good spot. Just off the plate. Can't believe he was able to stop his swing. Try it again.
Full count. Cameron Rupp lurks on deck. To short. Ibar will go to second. The turn close, but a little late. Nice job by Ibar and Beckham to make that as close as they did at first base. Atlanta cuts down the lead runner. 2 are out.
Yeah, good play by 2 veteran infielders. Get the lead runner. Gordon wasn't willing to give up and just get 1 out. Excellent turn. Step late.
So Rupp, the final hope for the Phillies in the 8th. He has struck out, grounded out, and he's lined out. This is a big, strong man who, as Joe said, has hit a homer against the Braves. And that one, the best fastball of the evening for Cabrera. 102.
102.
Runner goes. The pitch high. AJ's throw is in front of the bag. And Altair has a stolen base.
His first of the year. Again, last night his first game. He got his first hit, his first homer. And tonight his first stolen base of the season after missing a lot of time after wrist surgery. Injured during spring training.
So that makes things a little more dicey. A hit could score a run. Two and two.
2-2 count. You've got an option here to go to something other than the fastball and see if Rupp will do you a favor.
Swing and a miss at 102 again.
Some high cheese instead.
Rupp strikes out. Altair left stranded, and the Braves are up in the 8th, leading 2-1. Young Freddie Freeman. He's still young.
Yes, he is. Same smile. And he's swinging it good. Ought to be in a real good frame of mind since he's got more hits in the National League than anybody since June 15th. Academy Sports and Outdoor Leaderboard.
Hector Neris will be the man on the mound for the Phillies. He's their third pitcher of the night.
How many,
fouled away.
How many times do you think our pal Larry Anderson over there on radio for the Phillies has called him Nectar Harris?
Oh, but it's probably every night. But Larry has apparently created a shrine in the Phillies radio booth.
Oh, I think it's gone.
Is it gone?
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
Yeah, it was kind of a one-night party.
I'm not sure about that. Let's see.
Larry on the left. Scott Bransky on the right. Yep, I'll go.
Famous fleeting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I was his hero for one day.
One day.
Yep.
Wake up, Larry. There's a game going on. What do you think? Twitter, Instagram, or Snapchat?
Well, I told him a minute ago that Cabrera reminded me a lot of him.
Yeah.
102 miles an hour. He's probably looking to see what is the hardest pitch I ever threw, which is not hard. It was a slider because that's all he ever threw.
He didn't invent the ephus, huh?
No. But tonight is a red letter day for Larry too. It marked, I forget how many years ago that the Phillies traded for him.
It was in '83.
83?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Paul Owen was asked about him, and he said, "I've never seen the lad."
Welcome to Philly, Larry.
Yeah.
We scouted you hard. 2-2 pitch. And that's skied toward left. Ashe on the run is on the track. One away. We're really lucky in our jobs. We meet some really fun people, some terrific people. The Phillies broadcast crew, every single one of them, top notch. And they have a lot of fun with us, both here in Atlanta and up in Philadelphia.
Good folks. And good at what they do.
Good night for Nick Markakis. He's reached base 3 times, 2 hits, an RBI single, and a walk as well. Big league trading deadline mid-afternoon on Monday, August 1st this year. That'll allow the teams to get through their Sunday games. And another half day for all the GMs around the big leagues to make whatever trades they can in the non-waiver trade period. You can still make trades after August 1st. It just becomes a little bit more difficult for the teams at the tops of their divisions.
If there were some scouts here to see Velasquez tonight, they probably came away with some mixed results, mixed reviews. They only gave up 2 runs, so they had to like that. 2 walks, 5 strikeouts.
But it's tough to live up to 16 strikeouts in your second start each and every time you go to the mound. This one's hit high in the air toward right center. Altair on the run, still going. That ball continues toward the gap, and Nick Markakis has his second ground rule double of this game. A 3-hit night for Markakis.
And again, I go back to his batting practice. He was driving the ball like I've never seen him in batting practice. And tonight, he's getting some results from that BP. Looked like a sinker from Neris. And Nick launched it. Stayed in the air a long time, but they had him played where there was a big gap in right center. Nobody could get there.
That's a big insurance run available for the Braves. Let's see if Adonis Garcia can bring him home. Bouncing ball left side again. A look at the runner back. Throw to first in time. 2 outs. Enjoy brunch at Turner Field on Sunday, August 21st with a catered buffet featuring some of the newest Braves food creations and a Bloody Mary and mimosa bar. Go to Braves.com/brunch and get your spot at this new event. Ender Inciarte has extended his hitting streak. It's now at 10 games. Braves need a 2-out hit to extend their 1-run lead.
Out knocked by Markakis in the 3rd inning. The decisive hit right now. Sure would be nice to have an extra one to work with here and get a run in the bottom of the 8th.
Good battle here for Inciarte. 1-2 the count. So far, this is the 57th game this year where the Phillies have scored 3 runs or fewer in a game. They're 14-42 when they score 3 or less.
You know what they are, though, in 1-run games? 20-12.
Pitching.
Done a great job on those close ones. But trailing by a run tonight.
That's fouled off Rupp. It's still a 1-2 count. Game 3 here tomorrow night, and it's a big start for Julio Teheran. He will be back after he came out of his last outing. Says the back feels good. No issues. He's always pitched well against the Phillies. Jeremy Hellickson will go for Philadelphia in what could be his last start.
Yeah, scouts here to see him too.
By that I mean his last start with the Phillies. That takes care of Inciarte. Atlanta gets a double, but they will take a 1-run lead, 2-1 into the fateful ninth.
2-1, top of the 9th here at Turner Field. But Xfinity Game Break, we got for you that big series down with the Marlins, the Cardinals, and how about Tommy Pham? Playing whack-a-mole, guys, to center field, a big 2-run home run. That's his 7th of the year, putting the Cards up 11-6 over the Fish. Ichiro 0 for 4 in this one, just a couple hits away from 3,000. The big blow, Tommy Pham, a little props upstairs. Back to you guys.
All right, Paul, thank you very much. That game was started by Jose Urena for Miami. Mike Leake got the nod for St. Louis, and told you that Miami picked up a couple of starters. Marlins are a 500 club in every game not started by Jose Fernandez this year.
Is that right?
So that's why they had to go add to their rotation.
Well, and they're 4-8 against the Bravos.
That's a big problem for him too. Jim Johnson will pitch the 9th. He'll try to save the first big league win for Tyrell Jenkins.
Here, here. And Jim's been really good. His last 2 outings, both saves against Minnesota. 1-inning stints, no hits or runs in either one of them, no walks, 3 strikeouts.
Bouncing ball into the shift. Ibar had him played perfectly, and Ashe is the first out. Braves Live, presented by Xfinity, is coming up shortly. We hope to talk about a 2-1 Atlanta win. And again, there is a game inside the game here for Jim Johnson. Not only is he trying to win this game for the Braves, win it for Tyrell Jenkins, but he knows there are a lot of scouts here watching him. And as you just said, he's turned in a lot of good work. And with the deadline approaching and the price for pitching being what it is, Jim Johnson would be a very attractive trade candidate, I'm sure.
I heard people talking today, baseball people, about how pitching is extremely valuable in this trading period, but that the price for bullpen help is going up. And everybody that's contending needs some help in the bullpen. As we saw with the value of Aroldis Chapman going to the Cubs and what the Cubs gave up for him.
And he's a rental. He's a free agent at the end of the year. 0-2 for Freddie Galvis. Strike 3, and he knew it.
Right over the top. Dropped it right in there.
So one more big out to get, and it is a big out and a big problem for Atlanta. Ryan Howard is coming up in what is going to be his last season with the Phillies, one would presume. This man has absolutely destroyed the Braves. He's never gotten a hit, thank you, Joe, against Jim Johnson. He's 0 for 3. But throw that out the book, or throw that book out the window when Ryan Howard comes to Atlanta.
More home runs at Turner Field than any other opponent. See what he's done as a pinch hitter. 2 for 14.
So how about this matchup? Johnson versus Howard. And that one skipped up there. 1 ball, no strikes. Howard 22 homers at Turner Field. David Wright is second among visiting players with 19. No other player has more than 14. And those are Howard's career numbers against the Braves anywhere he has played. And that's rolled foul. 1 ball, 1 strike.
One of the things that you'd like to do to Ryan Howard is tie him up. Don't let him get his arms extended, as we've seen. Great power the other way too.
Fly ball, well hit, right center, and Ciarte won't get it. That's going to die up against the wall. Ryan Howard keeps the game alive for the Phillies. He doubles to right center in a pinch with 2 outs. He will be taken down for a pinch runner, and the Phillies are still alive. It'll be Tyler Goodell coming on.
He got fooled, but he got his arms extended out there on that pitch and spoiled a good one. Top hand even came off, and he still hit it close to 400 feet. It stayed in the ballpark. That's a good thing.
But the danger here, quite obviously, is a hit could score Tyler Goeddel, who's the pinch runner. And it's Cesar Hernandez who has one of the 5 Phillies hits. He's the only Philly to score tonight. He gave him a brief 1-0 lead in the 3rd. Good stop by AJ. Two and 0.
You don't want to get to Herrera and Franco, the meat of their order. And that's not any disrespect to Hernandez, but this is the guy you want.
Slashed into the seats left side, foul.
Shakeoffs.
Belt high and right down the middle. Well, maybe higher than the belt, but he got the call.
Well, I tell you, that was pretty good stuff right there from a couple of veterans, AJ and JJ, in that he was shaking off those signs, and from a hitter's standpoint, you're thinking he's looking to get to a breaking ball. It wasn't. 96 on that one. So here, that is a potential go-ahead run. Do you get after him with your 95, 96 heater, or do you try to get him to chase a breaking ball, which was very good on the strikeout of Galvis?
Crowd on its feet with a full count pitch. He missed low. So the Braves will have to face Herrera, but now they're 2 on with 2 out. And Roger McDowell out to try to reset Jim Johnson.
Herrera's 1 for 4 against him. Keep in mind that when Tyrell Jenkins was in some real trouble after 2 were out in the 4th inning, 2 walks and a single, Herrera came up, and after a visit by Roger McDowell on the first pitch, he popped up the first pitch to left field to get out of the inning. So Johnson just walked Hernandez. We'll see if Herrera's going after that first one again. Threw a hard sinker for ball 4 to Hernandez. That might be a good pitch here.
That's what he threw, but it was a little low. A ground out and a strikeout started the inning. Ryan Howard pinch hitting, doubled to the right center field gap. Hernandez has walked with 2 outs. 1 ball, no strikes.
Tied for the most hits against Atlanta this year. Most doubles. Been a tough out for the Braves. A double tonight.
was swinging for the fences and came up empty.
He may not get a better pitch to hit than that one. He swung right through that. Belt high fastball right there.
Now it's a 2-1 count. Ground ball towards short. Tough play, Ibar. The throw to third is going to be in time to force the runner, and the Braves have beaten the Phillies.
Chip, there was a play earlier this year where Ibar went to his right and Adonis didn't cover third. Adonis had gone to his left, and when Ibar had a play at third, he didn't have anyone to throw to, and he really scolded Garcia for not being there. This time he was there, and the out recorded in the game. That was a beautiful play by Eric.
And on a night when we celebrate Braves history, the Braves made some tonight. It's the first major league win for Tyrell Jenkins as Jim Johnson nails it down in the ninth, and the Braves have evened the series by a 2-1 score tonight.
Atlanta Braves baseball is sponsored by your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places. The Georgia Lottery. And Synovus, the bank of here.